What if I told you you can lose, let's say, 10 to 15 pounds in 21 to 28 days without stepping foot in a gym, without giving up all of these foods that you absolutely love to eat, and just completely restructuring your entire what you put in, like the types of food, right? Put you on some kind of crazy diet plan or any intermittent fasting, nothing crazy. And you can lose this kind of weight. Wouldn't that be the dream outcome? That would be a dream outcome. Now, pay attention. I have a class that I'm running with 21 people in it. And a lot of what I see is what comes down to this when it comes to restructuring or your metabolism or restoring your metabolism over that time frame, over that 3 to 4 week period by doing the following. 1, writing your food down and trading your other scale in for this one, and start to weigh your food out, starting with your protein in grams. So if you need 150 grams of protein per day, weigh that out, divide that into 3 to 4 meals, how many meals you want to eat, and start structuring your meals with that great foundation of protein. Then fat, and then carbohydrates for what you're doing for the day. Not jacking your carbohydrates up. Now, what I'm saying is you're going to be in a deficit, a healthy one, for that time frame. You've heard me talk about it several times. But combining your macros in a caloric deficit in a healthy way, making sure proteins first, fats are second, carbohydrates are third, especially they're built around for what you're doing for a specific day. It's really easy to do if that's what you are focused on for 3 to 4 weeks. You're not focused necessarily on the workouts. Now, I'm not saying not to work out. You can to magnify it. You can, and I suggest one more other thing that I'm going to talk about in a minute with this. But when you get the macros figured out and you start learning what 40, 50 grams of protein, like a serving, looks like as you're weighing it out on the scale, you know what protein looks like. You know what a serving of rice looks like. You know what a serving of pasta looks like. You know what all these servings like. The only thing that I don't weigh on a scale are vegetables. The following vegetables: broccoli, cauliflower. I don't measure any of those. I don't measure none of them. And the reason why I don't measure them is because I don't eat them. I normally eat vegetables by the pound and they're so small in calories. The only time I measure is if I put oil on them. Okay, like butter or ghee or olive oil or something like that. I measure the oil. I don't measure the actual vegetable. Now, I do measure out fruits because they're high in fructose. Totally different. Moving ahead here, making sure your macros are on point and you are in a caloric deficit based on what your body needs for the day of at least 500 to 700 calories starting day one. I'm telling you, the more weight you have to lose, of course, the more extreme it's going to be. You're going to be in that 10 to 15 pound range you can be that. But plugging in walks, like zone 2 walks, like where you're just having a conversation like we're doing it now and you're just walking right after a meal or before a meal. 10 minutes, 15 minutes each time. Not every meal, just the big ones. All right, especially the big ones. If you can do it before, Grant, you get your body ready for that meal and everything settles. Some water, make sure you're hydrated, and make protein first, fats second, carbohydrates third. And if you really don't need the carbs for that day, for that specific time, start dividing the carbs up to the point where you're still meeting your requirements, but being in a deficit enough to where that deficit comes from lowering the carbs, never the protein. Never the fat. Always the carbs. See where I'm going with that? It can be very simple once you take that 3 to 4 weeks out and write down what you're eating, moving forward, making sure the macros, because everybody's macros that I run into can be either completely overblown or 9 times out of 10 completely jacked up in low protein. high fat, low carbs, right? Or high carbs, low protein, and high fat. All depends on what aisle they walk down that week, right? Or whatever. I'm just using that as an example, but it can be that extreme. Instead of finding that in between, especially when you are looking for that dream outcome, you are looking for results, not just starting now, but that you can build on and build that foundation long term. And that's what it comes down to, because eventually during that time, you could start planning your meals out. Because the last thing here, I find that we all eat some of the same things, right? We eat it. It's a cycle. The protein's the protein, whether it's chicken, beef, turkey, whatever that is. It's there, right? Vegan, same scenario. Beans, nuts, soy, it's all there. Seitan, it's all there. It's all the same things, really. It's about measuring those things out and starting to put together a meal plan, not a diet plan, a meal plan that you are planning 3 to 4 days of protein meals out. Not necessarily the carbs, right? Whether it's fruit or potato, whatever that is. You can prep those for a couple of days, but planning your protein and fats out inside containers for 3 to 4 days to where you have the meals already set and you just warm them up is completely, I don't want to say it's revolutionary, but it will change the way you structure not only what you spend out of your pocket, but it will change the way you structure with the macros going in your mouth. And that makes the most difference. And I'm not going to sit here and throw these big words like you're satiated now. Come on. I mean, that's some of those things are so overblown where protein satiates you. No, just get your damn macros in correctly. Focus on that, really. And I mean, if you're in the gym, great. But this is always that stepping stone that I start off with during that first phase, and it's part of it. There's some other small things in there that I'm not going to go over right now that I can't. That takes up way too much of your time. I'm trying to keep this under 10 minutes. But really, guys and gals, get your metabolism, your restoration down when it comes to being in a deficit and making sure all the macros are there. Then the micronutrients will come along for the ride through your vegetables and fruits, your fruits and vegetables. And notice, I've said all of this without being in some kind of freaking diet. Just stop for a moment with the diets, because most diets, every diet I know, they work as tools. There are some great diets out there that I've seen in extreme for myself with my clients when they've had to lose quite a bit of weight with body fat that worked extremely well. And I'm not going to go into those today. That's a totally separate conversation. But, I find that the right diet, zone 2 cardio, it's the life key. It is. It really can be. I mean, I'm all about doing HIIT once or twice a week, throwing in that yoga, great, getting all of that in there. But you will always outrun your body fat. You will always outrun it if your nutrition is even semi on point, where you're not overly doing. There's going to be days where it's going to get blown out of proportion. And I get it. You're going to fall off. Most people, not most, but some people do, unless you are in a case where you are so, and I've got clients on both ends of that spectrum where there's just like they fall off, but some of them are just so astronomically dream outcome now. Dream outcome. What's the dream outcome? What's the result? Results now. So if you are looking for a results-based dream outcome system when it comes to nutrition and the workouts, everything included, right down to the habit, helping with habit coaching, I am taking on clients starting this month. So reach out to me. I would love to be the one to help you. It's not a very high, it's not a high ticket. It's not crazy. It is, I guarantee it, to the point where I work with you until we reach your dream outcome. I've been doing this quite a long time. So trust me on this. Hit me up with the word dream and I will reach out to you. There's a link here that you can set up an appointment with me at no cost. I'll talk to you as many times as you need to and go over some of these things like this and talk one-on-one. But reach out. I'll talk to you soon. Watch this a couple times. Talk to you soon. Later. Bye.